Welcome to another episode of the Nintendo Powercast, Nintendo News Daily. I'm your host, N64 Josh. Today's episode, we're looking at a number of headlines, as we always do. And we're going to camp out a little bit on Sonic CrossWorlds, Sonic Racing CrossWorlds DLC. Dropped today. Pac-Man is here, and they are absolutely killing it, in my opinion. And I want to hear what everybody thinks when we compare Sonic to Mario Kart. So we're going to be jumping into that and more right now. First up, this is super cool to me. GameSir and Hyperkin reveal a modular pad with GameCube and N64 layouts. This is coming to us from Nintendo Life. And so I want to start this off by saying GameSir is the manufacturer of the controller that I used the most to play my Switch 1 handheld. That was the device that I fell in love in. You guys have heard me talk about it on here before. And so I'm very excited about this thing. You can see, I'll play the video here, and you guys can see for yourself just what it looks like. Basically, you can swap out the D-pads and the buttons on either side, and the sticks and everything. And so it looks like an Xbox controller right off the bat, but then you can swap it out to make it look like GameCube and N64, like the headline says. And or I mean even like a PlayStation there, right? Where you could have your sticks down lower if that's your preference. So they're showing multiple screens here. That's the one thing I love about this thing. I'd throw my iPad mini into the one that I use, and this look it pending everything is it works smoothly. This is going to be a super super cool addition to or an option for a controller. Like the fact that it's modular makes me, it's a little bit, I'm a little bit iffy on it, right? But I trust GameSir. They make fantastic controllers. I've sold a lot of their controllers on my TikTok page. Like, so I think I'm confident in them as a company. Modular stuff does make me a bit nervous. I think it probably makes all of us a little bit nervous, right? But if it's done correctly, this could be fantastic. So Cryptic is here. What's going on, my friend? Says, this is awesome because it gives me a viable option to play these games handheld. Yes. Yeah, I think the thing for me, the reason I went with the GameSir controller on the Switch 1 is it literally felt identical uh to the Xbox, the Xbox controller. And I love the Xbox controller. I play Fortnite on my Xbox. If even if I'm playing Fortnite on the PC, I'm using an Xbox my Xbox Elite controller, and that's the way I go, right? And so a lot of it has to do. Now I've played handheld on my Switch too, more than I thought I would, honestly. Like more than I thought I would. And it it's actually, I like it better than Switch 1 for sure. But having just that little bit, like having the regular length of the stick, so that the throw of the stick is what you're used to when you're playing with like the Switch Pro controller or the Switch 2 Pro controller. That made playing handheld that much better. Like I played a ton of Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition handheld on my GameSir. So they make really good controllers. Now, as far as the release date, it's not here yet. Just kind of taking a look at the article. There's some more pictures of the controller as well. The article says accessory manufacturer GameSir and Hyperkin have joined forces to produce a fully modular controller that is compatible with the Switch and Switch 2. The GameSir Cross Hyperkin X5 Ultron. So there's there's the great name there. Like I said, and like we saw in the video, it's going to work with your iPhone, your iPad, or Android devices. If it's exactly like the one I use, like the Galileo, I think is what it's called. And I've used some other ones as well that were USB-C, so that would work with like you could hook up your iPhone or your like an iPad mini or something. These, I'm fairly certain, are gonna be Bluetooth like the one I used. So you can even use this as a controller off screen. You can have this hooked up to your device while it's in the dock if you're playing on Switch 1 or Switch 2. So it's really cool. I also think, uh, it looks like there's just like a touchpad for one of the controllers as well. So that's kind of interesting. So could be a super, super cool controller. We'll just have to wait and see. Even Cryptic says modular scares me. That means, it's a little cheap in components. Could be the case. It could be the case. A lot of times the Gamester stuff, it's priced a little bit better than your your first party stuff, but for their wireless controllers and whatnot, like, they $60-$70, and so and you're talking, like, Hall effect sticks, all the bells and whistles typically, so they are a good product. Like, I do use them, I have a number of them myself. They hooked me up with a Hulk version of the Galileo that they can't sell in the States because of licensing, so that was really cool when I saw them at PAX. And so, um, a lot of cool stuff there. So, uh, I see I see we just got Steak is over on Twitch. So, I know I mentioned, like, if we're doing some of these evening shows, just a quick little housekeeping. Uh, this is a new show tonight, so I am in both places. If you guys prefer YouTube, by all means, go hang out over there. Um, but yeah, so this controller looks like it could be super cool. I'm gonna pick it up and test it out because play GameCube games handheld with what feels like a GameCube controller. Sign me up. Sign me up. And a bigger D-pad that's not a Lucky Charm. That's even better. Next up on the list here, we got Resident Evil Requiem, the latest trailer teases a bustling city environment. So we're gonna go ahead and play this thing here so we can see it. And there's the mute. There it is. Okay. So we'll let this hopefully there we go. It brightens up a little bit. I know it's not huge on your guys' end, um but very curious, like the question that Nintendo Life is asking, and I think a lot of us are, is how is this gonna hold up on Switch 2? There's that thing jumped from 58 FPS to 303. I played that section of this game. So fun, you guys. Like, so fun, so creepy. I am curious on how it's gonna run on Switch 2. It was great on PS5, so really excited about that. But I mean, look at that screenshot right there. That's beautiful. Like that that is beautiful. And this kind of it gets me a bit excited about the story for this game. This doesn't look like your typical Resident Evil game. They're always in like nasty houses and uh like they're just grimy. This is like a city. Like I guess you got Resident Evil 2 was in the city, right? I'm thinking of the ones that I've spent the most time playing, which would be the very first one. It's all in the mansion, right? I think you leave a little bit, and then I played a ton of 7 recently, and so at least 7, 8, and now 9. I think, or 7 and 8, I believe were more in the like the like in the woods and all that kind of stuff. This is super cool. Right. This has me, even more excited about this game. I also love the fact that Leon is going to be, like, there for, like, beat 'em up stuff, like, he's almost, like, gonna be a force to be reckoned with. So you're not gonna be just doing because it did have that, like, Nemesis thing going on, which I haven't played 3, which I believe that is Nemesis, but you're getting chased by this thing and you gotta get to the light, that kinda stuff. So, uh, that was it was super cool, but I'm like, is there gonna be a little bit of fatigue with this? Is it gonna but the fact that Leon is there, it's gonna add a lot of variety to this, and I think it's gonna be great. So, Midfi Senpai says, "Haven't the Capcom games, held up well in general on Switch?" They have. Yes. Yeah, but they were also, in some cases, made for Switch, right? Like, I'm thinking of Monster Hunter Rise, and, the DLC, but they were made for Switch first and then went elsewhere. This is, uh this is being made everywhere and coming out day and date on Switch too. Maybe you guys can remind me if there's been some other games like that, but and the other Resident Evil games, the other 2 were on cloud. So, they don't count in my mind as far as, like, really pushing the hardware. So, I I'm excited. I'm excited about this one, and, they've got some good deals on this game and the other 2 as well, so if you guys are thinking about picking them up on your Switch too, they are definitely priced right, which is great. So I see Nadine is here saying, "Sonic love, baby. Let's go. Let's go." Steak says, "Played so much RE2 on N64. Want the remake on Switch too." There you go. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. So, super cool stuff there from Resident Evil. Let's continue on. The Natural History Museum's upcoming Pokemon merch is all about pokology. These all these words are so funny to me. Pokology? What? Pokopia? Right? They're super funny. But you can take a look at some of the merch there. Looks like there's a pin set and a bag. Taking a look here to see if I'm missing something here, but yeah, just a handful of items coming up from the Natural History Museum pop-up store, which is super super cool. So, uh, I see Matt is here. What is going on? Um, oh, there we go. Bring a little clarity. Says 4, 5, and 6 also kind of grimy and industrial, not so much city. Gotcha. Yeah, I did play 5, right? Chris, Shiva, whatever. Right? Like I did play that one, and that was like in like villages and stuff, right? With a little bit of city. So Steak says just add pokey to the start of any word. Yeah, basically. Basically that's it. But there's some I mean, if you're a Pokemon collector, you probably got your eye on some of this merch. Like I totally get it. Like as somebody who's always on the lookout for new Mario and Nintendo merchandise, like I completely get it. Some cool stuff there. Well, we've talked a little bit. Steak mentioned the N64. Turok 2 gets another update on Switch. Now this I don't think I don't this isn't this is interesting because I believe Turok 2 is on the Nintendo Classics app, but this is Night Dive Studios uh port that they did. So like they've updated these numerous times so they get better and better. It's really the way to play these classic Turok games if 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 you're a big fan of them. Now, you do have them in the classics, right? So at least the first one I have it's been a minute um since I've checked that, so I can't remember if it's in the you guys can correct me if we're not, but, if it's in the classics app, but I love 2. Huge fan of 2. Like, I think it is fantastic. But they've been continually putting out updates for these, which is great. Now the patch notes for this, super, super long. There's Steam Deck fixes, there's Nintendo Switch, fixes, and I'm not even sure. Let's see. Night Dive is also currently working on an update recently released, System Shock on Switch and Switch 2, and so, I was gonna see if I'm not sure. I wanted to see if there was a Switch 2. So Night Dive has announced new patch for Seeds of Evil. It's now live on all relevant platforms. That includes Nintendo Switch. And so I'm not seeing like anything specific to Switch 2, but maybe it's not going to get something like that because it's so easy to optimize and get it running just fine. So yeah, who knows? But the they're mentioning here we go. Fixed an issue where the cerebral bore fails to automatically switch to the next weapon when weapon runs out of ammunition in multiplayer. Best, best, gun in a multiplayer game ever, the cerebral bore. Like, so good when you'd land that thing. So good. So, there you go. If you got Turok 2 on your Switch, make sure to check it out. Just a real quick one here, Nintendo Switch's, Hulu app will be discontinued next month. So, I'm assuming, like, anybody in chat use this thing? I don't even know. I may have downloaded it, but I don't remember at this point. And I know at some point I probably, like, didn't re-download it because 'cause I'm just like, "This is not what I have Hulu, like, on my smart TV. Why do I need it on my Switch?" The cool thing, little, I wonder if they mentioned it in the article here. No, nothing. They're not really saying anything about it. The Hulu app has ties to Factor 5, which were these guys were the teams behind Rogue Squadron, Rogue Leader, all those fantastic Star Wars games on the N64 and the GameCube, and they were part of the team that made this possible. And so it's just kind of a fun little, nugget when it comes to this. And so, you know, bummer that it's not there. I don't know how many people are really using it. Like, I could see maybe some kids, but I also see a ton of kids using the Switch One for YouTube, right, Nadine? And so, looks like it is going to be discontinued next month. And I mean, the question everybody always want to know, like, when is Netflix coming to the Switch? Are we ever gonna see, Netflix and Disney Plus and some of these other apps? And I know for some people it was like they really wanted that kind of stuff, but nowadays, like I would say the majority of TVs that are sold are smart TVs. And so, and then you can also do the, Fire Stick or Roku or whatever. Like there's so many better options. The Switch 2 maybe could be a great option, but I think personally I would have to try to plug it in because we know the Wi-Fi is not super great on that. So trying to stream like 4K movies, I don't know if it would be a great choice or not. So who knows? But Hulu, gotta say goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye, Hulu. Cryptic says it. He says, I already have enough devices that can use these streaming apps. Not a big deal for me. Yep. Steak says I downloaded it. Never used it outside of checking it out for like 5 minutes. Yeah. I think I was in the same boat on that one. So, well, Dragon Quest 7 reimagined demo, Switch and Switch 2 performance investigated. So this is from Nintendo Life. We'll dive in here. Players on Nintendo's original hybrid system can seemingly expect 30 FPS with some frame pacing stutters. As you might have already guessed, there's a drop in resolution. On the Switch 2, the game runs at a silky smooth 60 FPS. I'm already almost all the way through this demo. Just a little quick side note. It's really fun. It is really fun. Nin, Nin, wait, I'm gonna get it right. Nintex 2 Dope. I think I got it right. I think. Said who's watching TV shows anyway? That's so last millennium. Yes. Yeah. I was hoping for a Netflix cart that I could put in my Switch 2 so that it would run like the Wii did with the disc back in the day. Anyway, back to Dragon Quest. So 60 FPS on Switch 2. Like, it's silky smooth, guys. I put out a video, and I'm like, it immediately pulled me in. If I will say this, if you're a fan of Super Mario RPG, you're probably gonna like the art and feel of this one. Like that's really the vibes it was giving me. So it's like, a classic square, but looking modern, just like Mario RPG did. And so I was digging it. I was having a great time, just running all over the place and uh, doing the little missions that you have to do. The demo's not super long. Getting to fight some slimes was like, yo, this feels classic. And I haven't even played these games. Like, I remember playing them on the NES and being like, there's too much reading for me. This is not for me, right? I really enjoyed this one. But back to how it's running here. Um, the Switch 2 has more consistent frame pacing. Both versions apparently deliver a respectable experience in handheld mode, with the Switch 2 build maintaining smoothness and portable play. The Switch OLED panel also makes the game look great, and the Switch load times are surprisingly solid. So that's good to know. Um, it further mentioned how this reimagined version has gone all in on the shallow depth of field technique, as it gives everything a proper diorama look, similar to Square Enix's previous HD 2D games. There was also some noticeable aliasing across both versions of the game, but overall, it's a better experience in the higher resolution Switch 2 version, even with some jaggy edges. And I will say, I I noticed this. It's not something that it's never a deal breaker for me. I was just like, oh, this like based on the trailers and the cutscenes are mint, right? But a few of the other just you could see that there was a little bit of jaggies like they're talking about. Not by any means a deal breaker. Not at all. Games still look gorgeous. My thought as I was playing it was I I'm at a stage with gaming super realistic is not a big thing for me if it can't run smoothly. I would rather have a game that looks like this and plays super smooth than uh than have it struggling to keep up and but then, looks gorgeous. I'm okay with a little bit more cartoony, dialing things back a bit and having them run smooth. I feel like one of the main things from last generation with Xbox and PlayStation and even PC at times, everything would come out and nothing would meet the expectations that everybody was hoping for. I would rather see things not look insane and not run well and just have these cartoony fun video game graphics. The way I envision it honestly, and it's from growing up with this stuff all the way back to the 8-bit or even before that on the Atari and whatnot. I feel like what we get to see now is what the original artists envisioned. And that to me is perfection when it comes to games. I just love it. And so I had a good time with this one. Nadine A says no hype for me for Dragon Quest. Nate, I'm gonna say download the demo and give it a shot. It it was a it really gave some top-down Zelda vibes, especially with the puzzles. Other than just the turn-based fighting, it felt somewhat like a Zelda game. A little bit, a little bit. A little less action, of course, but as far as, I don't know, I just kinda it was scratching that Zelda itch a little bit. Could just be me, but I would say check it out. He says, "I have it downloaded." Oh, and you played it and still no hype. Well, then I will shut up. I will shut up. But, yeah, oh, they are mentioned, so it said they're talking about the ocean waves, the way they were designed, those to overlap, um, to almost be an illusion of 3 dimension works great. Works great. So and I thought the water looked amazing, right? That's such a that's such a Nintendo. I feel like that's like I mean, it goes back to Wave Race and Mario Sunshine. I don't know. Did water get talked about on the PlayStation and the Xbox as much as it did on Nintendo stuff? Maybe it did. So, Nate saying Adventures of Elliot scratches that Zelda itch for sure. Yeah, no question there. No question. I think the other thing that's kind of pulling me in with this game because it's something I missed, didn't get to play. I can tell that it's an older game, that it's playing like a retro game, but with, being modern, and it's the same kind of fun I had with Super Mario RPG. So I am enjoying it. Your save does carry over if you end up picking this one up on February 5th. Mario Tennis. Mario Tennis on Switch 2 has 38 playable characters. The most in series history. This is from Nintendo Life. Nintendo tweeted out, um, this should be easy. Pre-order Mario Tennis Fever and play as Daisy Peach and 36 other characters. So, massive roster. We know that the rackets have different power-ups. And I think I said this on yesterday's show. All I need from this game is enough content and enough variety for people to stick with it, right? That's my hope, is that there's enough here that people will stick with it, because I'm gonna be in it. I know I'm gonna be playing it. I still there have been, I mean, within the last 6 months, I picked up Aces just to see if I could get any online matches, and it doesn't really happen. I just had to play against the computer, but I love these games. I love these games. So I'm very hopeful that with the amount of characters, the amount of rackets, that the gameplay itself is going to be something stellar, and that this will be the start of the sports games really um, showing up the way they should. Right? That's my hope. Again, I had fun with all of their sports games. I even enjoyed Strikers, but I understand the lack of, like, there was really no reason to play that game outside of multiplayer, and then they didn't really get the multiplayer correct. So, there are a lot of drop balls. They dropped a lot of balls with the sports titles, no pun intended, but that really does seem to be the case. I feel like Super Rush was probably the most solid. I mean, again, I was a huge fan of Aces and Super Rush. I just didn't like the Super Rush mechanic. I just wanted regular Mario Golf, and again, the asynchronous tournaments, all the stuff we've talked about at length over and over and over again, you know? Uh, so, uh-oh, Cryptic says, "I need to pause." Who knows what I said? I don't even wanna know at this point, but, 38 playable characters. Somebody said Steak said Baby Waluigi. Yes. I mean, do we need anybody else at that point? That's, that's that's it, right? So, really, really stoked for this one. It's coming out the week of my birthday, so I'm really excited to jump in and play this one with you guys. So, um oh, yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh Ginger said, "Still waiting for Mario Baseball." I would love it. I would love it. I would be playing that. I know my dad would wanna play that one, and we'd do some home run derby if that was there. Like, would love it. G Cryptic, how about Baby Gino? Cryptic, get Baby Gino in. How about that? That's even, we'll get double the Gino that way. Well, this is interesting. This is from, My Nintendo News, and they are saying that, let's see if I can get that a little better there. Okay. Windows Central says that both Fallout New Vegas Remaster and Fallout 3 Remaster are coming. So, taking a look here, Windows Central has published an article looking at what's in store for Xbox in 2026. And they have stated that not only Fallout 3 is getting a remaster treatment, but the acclaimed Fallout New Vegas is getting the same treatment. The remaster will be similar to Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered, which was more of a remake than a remaster. Hopefully, both those games will find their way to Switch too. So, nothing definitive here, because obviously it's just in the rumor slash leak. I know Nate the Hate has said that they are still coming, or they are coming. So, uh, it's more than likely happening, right? And so I hope it makes its way over to over to the Switch as well. Like, let's uh, get I want Oblivion on this on Switch 2 as well. There's I know there's a ton of fans for these Bethesda games. So this is going to be probably where I try a Fallout game for the first time. Uh I've never really played these games. I had a friend come over one time, my best friend in high school. Like, we reconnected a few years later, and he was showing me. I don't know if he brought his save file or something. I can't even remember. He probably had one of those little memory cards for your Xbox 360, and was showing me Fallout and the way you could like target different things with your guns and whatnot. I was like, these look really cool. Like they look like something I would enjoy. But at the time, I was so into hunting achievements that I was like, I can't spend a ton of time on a game like this. So uh and looking at the cryptic says makes sense that they released 4 at the end of season 1. Now that season 2 is ending, they release New Vegas. Gotcha. Okay. Cryptic also said never played a Fallout and more uh eh, was more of an Elder Scrolls fan, so excited. Got you. Okay. Yeah. And I did play I did play Oblivion and Skyrim. Um but I feel like I don't know. I don't know what I don't know if the timing happened to work out where I was like, "Okay, I'll put some time into some of these larger RPGs," because for the most part, I stayed away from them, but there was a small window of time where it was like, everything was achievements, like, I only played for achievements, so, um and oh, Stakes had already announced Fallout 4 coming to Switch 2 this year. Perfect. There we go. So, lots of, and I think I do recall Um, I do recall seeing that as well. So hopefully, hopefully we see 3 and I think New Vegas is like peak Fallout from what I've heard. If you guys are looking at the screen right now, you are seeing that South Park and Fortnite are coming very soon. Chaos Loading was their post on X happening Friday. I don't know if you guys have seen they don't have a picture of it here. If you guys played Fortnite during the Simpsons, Bart and Lisa were in mechs, like so that's how they could be the right height. Every one of the South Park characters is in a mech, and they almost remind me of like Titanfall mechs, or they kind of look like Big Daddies from BioShock. That's kind of the look that they have. Fortnite seems to be like just going crazy with the licensing stuff now, and I feel like they are targeting like a bit of an older demographic even with this, like Simpsons, and I'm still baffled on the Kim Kardashian thing, but she's there. Uh, Now we got South Park, we have Kill Bill happening in the Battle Pass right now, Back to the Future. So just some kind of some IPs that I don't think anybody was really expecting. I have SpongeBob running around with me in Fortnite, and I can give him a high five. If I get shields, he usually laughs. Like it's it was it's just wild all the stuff they're doing. And now the way the the little like the little pets or whatever that run around with you, it makes me wonder like since you're only seen by you, do we finally see some like a Nintendo collab? Like could a Goomba or a Koopa run around with us? I don't know. Harry Potter was it already happened. There really wasn't much to it. They offered you could get customizable skins, and they really didn't have much of an event for Harry Potter. They're doing Stranger Things right now as well. Like a lot of different things coming through the shop. So just kind of it's honestly wild. It's wild. If you've watched Ready Player One or read the book, that's what it feels like. I'm loading in as Optimus Prime with SpongeBob running around, and I can jump in a Batmobile and ride all over the place. Like, what is even happening right now? How am I able to say all of those things? How can I put, you know, Bebop, Rocksteady, and Krang into the party wagon and start driving around the map? Like, what is this? There's a DeLorean right now. Like, so much cool stuff. and they're doing such a fantastic job with it. And I even love like I love the loading screens. Like they've got some killer drawings of like Optimus Prime and stuff. Like I love it. Playing as Master Chief, and Deadpool, and even some of their original characters are pretty rad, you know? And so it's I think my favorite thing is seeing like Vecna from Stranger Things running around in Air Jordans or Godzilla running around in Air Jordans. Like, what is this? What is this madness? But I'm here for it. I think it's great. So South Park coming very soon to Fortnite. Let's jump into our main topic, which is going to be Sonic CrossWorlds. Here we go. All right. Well, Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, Pac-Man DLC, out now. Out now on Switch and Switch 2, also Xbox, PS5, all that stuff. And it looks pretty cool. You know, you're getting more than just Pac-Man. Sega also is bringing along a new track, a new vehicle, and more. I believe. Let me see here. If they have, well, we can watch the launch trailer here. So take a peek. Take a peek at this real quick, and see everything they're adding. I don't know about you guys, but Pac-Man is he's always a favorite for me. I mean it. You can't be an '80s kid and not love Pac-Man, right? Like so cool. You're seeing some power pellets there. The track. What? What? This is this is this is incredible. You can play as the different ghosts as well as Pac-Man. For just the audio listeners, the track is like you're playing in an old school Pac-Man game, but it kind of looks like how you would envision it if you were Pac-Man, right? Like, how cool is that? Nate says this game is fantastic. Like, I'm loving this stuff. I'm loving this stuff. And I think one thing that we can kind of chat about, even just briefly, is like what I don't quite understand is that Mario Kart comes out at $10 more than this game, right? And there was a lot of conversation around like, what does DLC look like for this game? Is it going to be free? Is it going to be charged? You know, will that upset people? Sonic comes out and does DLC, but everybody seems to be excited about it and not really have any kind of like I don't really see anybody speaking negatively about it, right? Like you're getting these cross ups with Minecraft and Pac-Man, like they're amazing. And I feel like Nintendo, like we've all thought all along that Nintendo was going to be doing, you know, Kirby, Metroid, Star Fox, a Fire Emblem, like that Mario Kart world was going to end up being much more like a Smash Kart than just a Mario Kart. And so, like, where I'll ask you guys in chat, like, if Nintendo was doing this, would you be put off by it or just as excited about it? And I mean, look at this DLC. It's one track, 5 characters, give or take, and one cart. You know, is that enough? It's super cool. Like it's super cool. But I don't really see like I haven't seen a ton of people speaking poorly of it. If stuff like this was happening with Mario Kart, would the hype be there? Like would people be more into it? A little bit more excited? Cryptic says as far as the Sonic Crossworlds or Sonic Racing Crossworlds, we have Mega Man, Avatar, Persona in a racing game. Yeah, it's wild. It is wild. Crypto says still waiting on a simple DK Bonanza skin that would have been a simple ad. There it is, right? Cryptic said I would be in and just as excited. Imagine a Zelda pack with 5 Zelda characters and a new track. for sure. But I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think I had it up here. I don't think this pack costs all that much. Let me jump in. I don't think they show the price in the article here. Yeah, they don't have the price here, but I'll fire up my Switch 2 and take a quick peek. I opened this up to make sure it was out on Switch, and and sure enough, it was. So let's get into Sonic here real quick. I love that you can just type the S and Sonic CrossWorlds pops up. So yeah, it looks like $6. $6. And so that's, that's not bad. That's not, I don't think anyway. I don't know. Who knows what the internet thinks about this, but I mean, you're getting quite a bit there. Battle Pass, Nate said, is 30. And so let me just take a quick peek here. So it looks like the digital deluxe edition is 80 on Switch 1, which I'm not sure if that comes with the that comes with, it looks like all the DLC. So 90 bucks looks like that's the route to go. Get the digital deluxe edition on Switch 1 and then buy the $10 upgrade, 90 bucks. Otherwise, you're spending 70 on just the Switch 2 version and then another 30 on the season pass. If I'm seeing this all correctly. So that seems like the way to go. So I mean, I think it's really cool stuff, honestly. Nate says, "I'd love Mario to do this." Oh, hang on now. There we go. I'd love Mario to do this. Unlockables Sonic has it. The unlockable Sonic has is great. And yeah, I mean, we're unlocking stickers in Mario Kart World that we can't even like put everywhere, right? So Cryptic says it's no more than Smash DLC characters. Yeah, it's a good point too. So um I would really love to see Nintendo take a page out of Sega's book with this, because I think they're doing fantastic. I think it's super super cool. And honestly, after seeing that track, like they may get me. You know, Nate said get it, Josh. Like they may get me. Like it looks really good. So really really good. And the fact that it's got those other, like the other IPs in there with it, also very cool. Uh and Nate says still waiting for Josh to pull the trigger on base version to race. I mean, I played the demo on Xbox. It's that I don't love the feel of it, but I made it's not that it's unplayable by any stretch of the imagination. It's just not my preference is all it boils down to. So, I don't know. They may get me. And I love what they're doing here. I mean, this is Smash Kart, right? Is it not? That's what we're seeing here. All these cross ups, Cross Worlds has got all these crossovers. Like it's pretty great, pretty fantastic. So I'm yeah, they're winning me over. I will say that much. They are winning me over. So really really cool stuff. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out live. I appreciate you all so so very much. Schedule's kind of up in the air right now with life for me, so just bear with me. But stay tuned to the Discord for when I am live, and so I will let you know. Last question here. Cryptic said, "Is there any rumors of any direct in the next month or so?" I honestly don't know, and so I can if you open YouTube, there's always all kinds of YouTubers that would say that there's a direct coming every week, right? But I'm not sure. I don't know. I would assume February. That's my that's my gut feeling. Probably mid February. we will get one. I don't know I think statistically February is um a pretty active month for directs, if I remember correctly. February, March, right around there usually. So they've got, I mean, the launches for February, just at the top of my head, we got the Virtual Boy stuff coming out and the tennis game, right? This month we've got Animal Crossing and um Final Fantasy, and so and that I mean, those are just a few off the top of my head. Like it seems like there's a whole lot coming out. So Cryptic says something has to come to hype up Mario Tennis and Yoshi. Yeah, I would think so. I would think so. And I feel like they may do one more push for Virtual Boy, even though it's like it's so obscure and so strange that they're doing it and doing it that way. So um oh yeah, and Ginger says I think Resident Evil comes out February. It does. Yep. Yeah, that's what we've February, hang on. It is launching February 27th, so end of February. So, yeah, there you go. It's busy. Busy, busy, first, Q1, no question. Like and I think it's only gonna continue to get busier, honestly, with with everything that, as more and more studios get their hands on the Switch 2 and more studios learn the ins and outs of the console, like, it's honestly really exciting, like, really, really excited, and so, um, I'm very curious for March and getting the sales numbers and finding out how things are going, and, like, uh, it's so strange, like, YouTube is such a strange thing, like, for the people that, like, that 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 really dig into this stuff all the time, and it's like, all the leaks and rumors and all the sales numbers, everything like that. Like, if the Switch 2 has slowed in sales, I mean, that's on Nintendo to figure out how to sell it, and that's gotta be software, right? Like, they've gotta come up with some banger games, everybody loves that word, and, maybe looking at pricing and whatever the case may be, like, I I'm not at all, like, worried about this stuff. I'm just excited. I'm having a good time. I'll leave you guys with this. Go and check out Cast and Chill. I'm still having a fantastic time with that game. So, uh, definitely, definitely check that out. Oh, Brian, Midpie Senpai says nobody says that. Nobody says a banger of a game. My bad. My bad. So, Cryptic said what to expect for the rest of the week. Definitely new shows. Yeah, new shows. The main numbered show is on hiatus indefinitely right now, and so a lot of that just having to do with the timing and so uh just going to be focusing on news shows for the foreseeable future and then some of our other like Nintendo Face Off and Game of the Week, that kind of stuff. So, um, but yeah, we'll definitely get news shows in for the remainder of the week. So appreciate you guys so much. Remember, as always, play it loud.